Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the number one reason, or maybe I'm not going to say it's the number one reason, but it's definitely a major reason why you might be too attached to your specific person or to people in general. It could be a romantic partner, but it could be an ex, it could be somebody that you've dated, it could be a friend, it could be a family member. It could be really anyone. It could even be your boss or a colleague at work. So we're going to talk about this, but before I get into today's topic, welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Julia, I'm a manifestation coach, and here on this YouTube channel, I'm talking about all things consciousness, inner healing, self-love, and manifestation. And if you're looking for one-on-one support on your journey, check out the links in the description box below. I'm also going to put a link to my Instagram down there. There's lots of free content on my YouTube and on my Instagram. Make sure to check that out. And there are also a few meditations in my online shop and a scripting workshop that you can use on your manifestation journey. What I also want to recommend is the free resource, my emotional healing playlist that you'll find on my YouTube channel. Sometimes we're getting overly focused on trying to manifest something rather than healing ourselves. But by healing yourself, you'll see that you're effortlessly going to manifest a better life without even trying, simply because you're letting go of old patterns, old beliefs, old energies that are not serving you anymore, and you're starting to resonate with a healthier life, with a healthier, with healthier relational patterns, with healthier patterns in everything. And you're simply starting to resonate with a happier life. It's going to start to feel normal to you. You're going to start to feel worthy of it. That being said, let's get into today's topic. And what I've noticed on my own healing journey and on my own manifestation journey is that there is a correlation between how happy you are and how attached you are, and that's nothing new, but I think we should address it because so many people come to me wanting to manifest their specific person, and when I ask them how they feel about themselves and about their life in general without even thinking about that person, what I hear a lot is that, people are not all that happy with their own lives, and then it makes perfect sense that you would want to find some kind of escape to feel better in the moment. And this is really basically what you're doing when you're doing this, or what we're doing when we're doing this, because I've experienced that within myself, and I still do my best to stay conscious of any kind of pattern that goes in that direction. What we're doing when we're doing this is we're trying to find a quick fix to something that we really need to heal within ourselves. And sometimes thinking about all the changes that we need to make in our own lives can make us feel so overwhelmed. And in order not to get into that dark place where we're feeling overwhelmed and maybe even depressed, and we we try to avoid those darker or more difficult emotions, our brain, almost like by itself, tries to seek out some momentary relief. And sometimes we can make ourselves believe, or our brain or some relational patterns within ourselves can make us believe that if we just have that person, and I'm saying have because that's how we are operating in that state of consciousness, or from that state of being, is we're really trying to get something, or in this case someone, to be by our side, to be our savior, to make our lives better, because we think of that person. If that person was to choose me, or if that person was here to support me, or if they would just listen to me, or if they would just help me, then everything would be so much easier. And yes, sometimes things can be easier when you're getting support from someone else. Of course, you deserve that, and it's natural that you want that. But at the same time, it's an illusion to think that somebody else can fix all of your problems. Like, that's simply not the case. You thinking that is simply coming from a place of not being ready to take responsibility and probably being overwhelmed because you might be trying to change so many things all at once. And And that usually happens when we're stuck in a mental cycle, or let me phrase it a bit more eloquently. That usually happens when our mental health is not at its best. That's when we're feeling overwhelmed, and that's when we're getting overly attached to other people. And of course, that's also when we need help, but you gotta make sure that you get help that really does help you in a sustainable way. You hooking up with your ex, or hooking up with someone you barely know, or getting the attention of some stranger, or craving the attention maybe from a friend who is not available for you right now, or who is not prepared to support you with your mental health, might not be the solution that helps you in the long run. So whenever you're getting overly attached to someone who is unwilling or unable, or not prepared to support you in the way that you need, you gotta make sure that you retreat back to yourself, you come back to yourself, and you really ask yourself, what is it that I really need right now? And sometimes that might be therapy, sometimes that might be coaching, sometimes that might be a book that could help you. Like maybe you're not in a very dark place and you don't need therapy or coaching right now, although I do think that these types of support are very, very, very beneficial for everyone at some point. But like, I don't want to create the illusion that it needs to be something super complicated. Like sometimes it can be a course, it can be a book, it can be even a YouTube video that can help you get back on track and take that next step towards your healing and towards creating a better life for yourself. Sometimes that can be picking up a hobby that you've been neglecting, and by picking up a new hobby and reinvesting time and energy in your passion, you're starting to feel more self-confident again, and you're going to be less attached to a specific person. The conclusion of what I'm saying here is, you gotta make sure that you're investing in creating a happy life for yourself that is not dependent on one specific person, whoever that specific person is. Whenever you're overly attached to one specific person, you are seeking out validation, and that comes from some inner wounding that is not healed within yourself. And in order to make sure you're sustainably outgrowing that pattern, you really gotta make sure that you are lovingly confronting your inner limiting beliefs, and making sure to heal your inner wound. Look at it and feel through it, sit with the emotions, look at the beliefs, and then make sure to reprogram your inner narrative to reflect the version of yourself that you really want to be when you're in alignment with the happiest life that is in alignment with your values. And that's why I'm saying, like, sometimes you might need therapy, sometimes you might need coaching, sometimes you might want to do both. And if you've already done that, if you feel like you're not in a place where you really need that, then, find other ways to inspire you and to get back on track with building a happy life that you really truly enjoy. When you're really aligned and embodying your most radiant, vibrant, your most abundant and joyful self, you're not going to be overly attached to anyone. You might be healthily attached to people. Like it's very healthy to create safe attachments with people where we're showing up for each other. Like that is something that I really subscribe to, that I think is extremely important. I don't think it's healthy to live completely independently of everyone else. Like that's something that we're doing when we're relationally traumatized. So I don't want you to isolate yourself, but when you're overly attached and obsessing over one specific person who is not even trying to meet your needs, then you're headed in the wrong direction, and you gotta make sure to connect to people who are able and willing to meet some of your needs. Like, don't try and get every need met from just one specific person. Like, make sure to create multiple connections in your life with people who want to show up for you, and create reciprocal relationships where you can show up for each other, and also make sure to develop that really healthy relationship with yourself, because in the end, you're the one person who's always gonna be there. So you gotta make sure that regardless of how many other connections you have, you gotta make sure to create a strong bond and that healthy and positive relationship with yourself, where you're being honest with yourself, where you're being kind with yourself. Like, those are really, and also the next most important energy that you want to cultivate with yourself, besides honesty and compassion or love, is you want to create a life that feels like joyful, where you're having fun, where you're feeling passionate, where you're feeling like you're just getting to enjoy yourself. And sometimes on this path we tend to miss some of these aspects. Sometimes we're very loving towards ourselves, but we're not very honest, and hence we are stagnant. We are staying stuck and stagnant in situations in our life that we don't have to be in. Sometimes we're super honest with ourselves and we're trying to put in all the effort, but we're not very loving, we're not very flowy, we're trying to be super disciplined and honest, but we're not super loving, and we're not allowing ourselves enough fun. Well, and sometimes, and I think I don't even have to mention this, but let's just do it for the completion of this video. Sometimes we're going for all the fun and all the enjoyment and trying to feel good, but we're neither really loving with ourselves, nor are we really honest with ourselves. So make sure to balance these three energies out in the relationship with yourself, and make sure to really nurture all of these three energies in the relationship with yourself. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the description box. No, not in the description box, in the comment section down below. I'm happy to answer your questions. If you want me to make certain videos about manifestation or healing, if you have any specific requests, put them in the description box below. And yeah, really make sure to orient yourselves towards the life that is your happy life. Like, that's the way. I don't like the term your best life, but I really like the term your happy life, because the life that really makes you happy and makes you feel joyful, it's something very unique to you. And when you build that life, when you implement the hobbies and the values and the activities and the type of career or business or work in your life and purpose that you really, really like, you're going to feel so satisfied that it's going to be so easy for you to detach from people who are not showing up for you, who are not choosing you, who are not behaving in a healthy way in the relationship with you. All right, thank you so much for being here. I wish you a lovely rest of your day and rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.